Yeah, it is
Hi,
now.
it is now. It's working now. Sorry, everyone. We were having a few technical difficulties. Hi, I'm Mark Walmsley. I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network. And I don't get to meet everybody in our 188,000 community around the world, but when I do, it's a pleasure. Sita has joined me today. Sita is one of our full members, for which many thanks. We're entirely member funded as a community. So, and we're going to have some fun today. I'm going to create Sita's fantasy cultural year based on the answers to some easy questions to which there are no wrong answers. It's a nice way of pulling out anecdotes, surprises, and conversational detours, which is right up Sita's street because she's the queen of stories. So, Sita, before we do that, perhaps you'd be kind enough to say hi to everyone and tell us a little bit about you, where you're based, and the work that you do.
Hi, everybody. I am Sita Brand from Settle Stories, the Settle Capital Stories, based in Settle in the Yorkshire Dales. And I founded a small arts organisation called Settle Stories, and we do year-round events. We used to run a festival, but we've moved on to doing year-round events. We have an extensive schools program. We do a lot of training, and basically we use story and mindfulness in innovative ways to transform lives, making people more resilient, kind, compassionate, and able to take care of their well-being as well. I
Sounds
think that,
great.
in a sentence.
Where can we find more information? Is there a website?
So yes, so you can find out more about me at settlestories.org.uk, and I also on my own work as an artist, and you can find out about me there at citabrand.com. But at
Excellent.
Settle Stories, there's the bulk of the stuff is there.
Okay. Settlestories.org, is it?
.org.uk.
I'm just going to show everyone if it'll come up. My internet's not very fast at the moment, but there we go. Settlestories.org.uk. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll have a look in a minute. Perfect. Excellent. Well, wherever this appears, there'll be links to you and to the website. Now, the work, boy, do we need that more kindness through stories at the moment, and compassion and resilience. So, your fantasy cultural year is going to be based on the work that you do. I should point out I have a time machine and a magic wand at my disposal for this. So now I need to place you somewhere in the world. And to do that, I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite building, Sita?
My favorite building.
Mm,
Gosh, that's an interesting question. I'm thinking, well, I'm pretty partial to this treehouse in Kenya. But I quite like yurts, and I also like castles. I like castles a lot. I like them for their grandeur and for their history and the stories that are hidden in them. Um, that's a good start.
that's a great start. Let's choose a castle. I like the idea of that. I'm just trying to make Google work, but it's not playing up. It's not playing at the moment. Is there a particular castle that you'd like to choose?
Um, well, I'm trying to think. Um, there are lots of really great castles in the world, you know.
Yes.
Um, Down the road is Skipton Castle, but that's not so exciting. There's also, it isn't quite a castle, but it's certainly a grand building, which is like a castle on Lindisfarne, which was designed by Lutyens,
Mm.
which is absolutely beautiful. And that's certainly, when you said, you know, a favorite building, that is a place that I think is stunningly beautiful. So I'll go to Lindisfarne for the moment.
Lindis,
So
what a great choice.
yeah,
Is that the Cumbrian coast or the
it,
Northumberland coast?
Northumbrian coast.
Northumbrian coast, yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And I first went there having walked St Cuthbert's Way uh, from Scotland and then to Lindisfarne, which is where Cuthbert ended up and I stayed in this extraordinary B&B with a guy who used to be a chaplain at Strangeways Prison, and he told me all the stories about what happened and how it was during the riots. He got a lot of overtime, did well out of it.
Excellent. Right. So I'd like you to imagine, if you would. I wanted to show everyone Lindisfarne, but for some reason Google's not responding. So have a look for Lindisfarne if you want to have a look. I'd like you to imagine that you're sitting at a pop-up cafe
Mhm,
as part of a festival within sight of Lindisfarne.
mhm.
Okay. It's 6 p.m. on a June evening. It's lovely and warm, and there is a drink on the table next to you. What would we find there, Sita?
Um, at this festival, you mean?
Mm,
Well, we'd certainly have lots of storytellers, and there might be some light jazz playing, probably some circus acts, um, definitely some interesting people
fantastic.
having interesting conversations, perhaps quite thought provoking, and maybe things that we don't put together. Perhaps, a roboticist in conversation with a storyteller, or a computer scientist in discussions with a sculptor, or something like that. I think it would be quite eclectic and a little bit odd.
That's lovely. That's given me further inspiration for your fantasy cultural year. You're taking a break and you're having a sit down and a drink. And so there's a drink on the table next to you. What drink would we find there?
Well, it would be a mocktail because I don't drink, as in I don't drink alcohol. So it would be either a mocktail, and if I could be really greedy, I might have a zero Guinness on the side as well.
Nice. Love it. Apparently, they're selling more of that in cans than they are Guinness.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
It's I think it's very nice.
very
But
good.
that you said June evening, and June it could be quite warm, and so a really refreshing mocktail
Yeah,
could be with a bit of mint in it, perhaps, could be quite
nice.
nice.
With a zero Guinness chaser. There we go. Now, there's also a book on the table next to you in our fantasy cultural year. What book would we find there?
Oh, now there's lots of choices there. Um, so I might have a copy of A Storyteller Told Me. No, A Fortune Teller Told Me, not Storyteller. A Fortune Teller Told Me, which is written by an Italian writer, and his journey around the world when he decided not to fly around the world, but he was going to travel only in by land this extraordinary year. Um, and it's kind of like it's a really fun book. I like it because it's travelogue, tells great stories, it's incredibly well written. um
What was
and
it
I
again? A
might
fortune teller's.
A Fortune Teller Told Me. I'm pretty sure that's the name.
Okay, yeah, it's by um, where is it? Uh, Marlene on the Move, is it?
Tiziano Terzani.
Ah, okay. Yes, Tiziano Terzani.
Yes, he was a
Looks good.
journalist,
Yeah.
and I think he worked for some really big papers in all over Europe and places. And he was really, yeah,
I found a
I,
picture of Lindisfarne now. Google's
yeah.
not working. Google's not working, but Safari is for me. So let's just show people where you are. There we go. Try that. There we go. There's the castle at
Oh yes, you see.
Lindisfarne. Yes. So your festival
So it's
is
priory more than a castle, but it's still
is
rather
a bit,
marvelous.
yes. Yeah.
Yes, and then you see the Lindisfarne Castle, which is the building that is, if you open that up, the castle itself was built by Lutyens. I'm pretty
Ah,
sure.
yeah. Fantastic. Excellent. Now, you're feeling quite pleased with yourself
Yes.
because you've just come from a meeting with a wealthy Northumbrian family foundation who like to support arts and culture projects, and they've been to your festival, the Story Festival in Lindisfarne. They would like to hire you for a year at great expense to them to organize and run storytelling festivals all over the world for a year. You get to do one a month. Okay. And it's first class all the way if you want it. Great accommodation, lots of people to help you, a PA to sort out everything at home. You're going to travel the world to launch and run these festivals in different areas of the world to try and encourage people to be more kind, more compassionate, and more resilient. There'll be a TV crew following you for the year. They'd like to make a documentary about it. There'll be a book deal in it. There will be a TED talk when you get back. There'll be morning TV appearances. And if you want to, you can then do a global university lecture tour about the success of the annual festival. Does that sound like fun?
That sounds like amazing fun. Thank you very much. I accept.
I've done 300 of these, and on one occasion, the fantasy cultural year came true.
No,
Yeah,
really? Oh my
fantastic.
God. That would
Yeah,
be so incredible. Yes.
lovely. Okay, so all you have to do is to decide where you'd like to start. We're not going to go through all 12, but let's choose a few places. So you're going to fly, you can go anywhere in the world to start this. Where's the festival going to be first?
I think I would start at Easter Island.
Easter Island, wow.
Yes. Yeah.
With the standing stones.
With the standing stones. So I'd start at Easter Island with the standing stones, and I've got a crew, but I've also got my favorite live streaming crew with me. And they would be following me, and I would be telling stories and also meeting with local people who would also be telling stories amongst those extraordinary stones. And we would capture the stories of, of this time that people don't really know about. And what's so special about going to places like Lindisfarne, and it would be followed by places like Burma, Tibet, Cambodia, Laos, probably India, Papua New Guinea, definitely. Is that you're going to places which are, in some cases, certainly like Easter Island, are lesser known to the world. And what I am passionate about is trying to bring the world to others, and so that people can understand each other more. If kindness and compassion and resilience are going to be important to us, we have to learn to stand in other people's shoes, and we have to learn their stories. And when we learn and understand their stories, we can see that actually there's so much in common between us, between nations, communities, and people of all ages, etc. So I'd definitely start there, and then we would go to these places that are not as frequented in the same way, perhaps, as France, Greece, the US, Germany, or wherever.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Now, I've got the magic wand and the time machine. So you arrive in Burma, let's say. What's the capital of it's Myanmar now, isn't it?
Myanmar.
Yeah. And a group of young storytellers welcome you and take you under their wing. They whisk you off to a wonderful apartment overlooking the city. And they say they're going to come back and take you out to a dance performance and then out to dinner. Now, this is where the magic wand and the time machine come in, because you don't have to remain in Burmese culture. I can put any dance performance on the stage in front of you, historical or otherwise, any kind of format you wish. What would be your ultimate dance-based performance for a couple of hours?
I'm not sure, but certainly I'm really interested in East Asian performance. So that part of the world, I don't know anything about Burmese dance, so that would be quite interesting to explore.
Mm.
I really like, you know, there's some, I have to confess, I don't watch a lot of dance, but if I was going to, I think that something that blends a sort of Japanese movement arts and maybe some like very wacky Marina Abramovich type crazy stuff mixed up together could be quite fun.
We're going to go to, I can do this because I have a magic wand. We're going to be at the first fusion dance festival that has happened in that area, bringing all of those different art forms together in dance.
Yeah.
That's the plan. And then out to dinner afterwards. Now you can choose the national cuisine. You don't have to remain in local culture. If you could choose any national cuisine for dinner, what would it be?
It would be Mediterranean,
Mm.
probably something like a mix of Lebanese and Syrian.
Nice. My mouth's watering already. Now we're going to buzz to the next place. Let's go to Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
Cambodia has its sport day when we arrive in
Mm-hmm.
Cambodia. We have break dancing in the Olympics. We've got ice dancing. We've got synchronized swimming. Arguably, much sport is performance art.
Mm-hmm.
What sporting event would you like me to put in front of you?
I would be very interested in traditional martial art forms. So in southern India, there's a martial art form called Kaleri Payatu, which I studied many, many, many years ago, decades ago. And it's wonderful. And the reason why it's so wonderful is because you are, there's a lot between the energy between the people who are fighting with one another. It's like it is a martial art. And, but you, the thinking behind it is you obviously have to learn how to protect yourself. You have to learn how to attack. And because if you attack people, then people can be hurt. You also have to know how to heal. And therefore, within the traditional system, you would have to also be like a herbal doctor, Ayurvedic doctor. And I think that kind of thing is something that I find really interesting and fascinating. There's also a kind of circular feeling around it. And if I can have anything from anywhere, I'd probably have some Kalari Payatu because it also fits with my feeling of this importance of kindness, compassion, and resilience. And it's there encapsulated by this extraordinary martial art form.
Love that. Love that. Now we're going to buzz again in our
Mm-hmm.
whistle stop tour. Where would we go next?
Um, I think Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Love it. Now, in Machu Picchu, or close to Machu Picchu, I don't know where the nearest city is, but there is a new digitally enhanced art gallery.
Ooh.
Okay, and you can put on some virtual reality glasses and
Mm-hmm.
step into the work of a famous artist.
Yep.
It becomes three-dimensional. It's 360 degrees. There may be movement, there could be sound. You can experience in 3 dimensions what the artist could only show us in two. Whose work would you like to step into in those circumstances?
So I'm stepping into their work to experience what
Their
it's like
painting.
to be
Their painting. Yeah.
their painting.
Yes.
I'm stepping into their painting.
Yeah.
Ooh. Mm.
It's not a
Mm.
projection like the Van Gogh. It's it's an immersion. You're literally walking around inside the painting.
Walking inside the painting. Mm. That's a difficult one. Let me think. I think I might like to step inside a Badri Narayan. Badri
Mm.
Narayan is a Indian artist who was very popular when I was a child. I think he died some years ago now, and he really brings alive a sense of folk, but in a really there's something very kind of alive and
How do you spell it,
heart-touching.
Sita? How do you spell it?
Badri, and then Narayan, which is Narayan.
Let's see. Badri Narayan.
Yeah, two
There we
words.
go. Got it. I think I found the right. Let me just share my screen and we'll show everyone. Have I found the right person?
I can't tell from that. I can probably this person on there it says Arts of India. I think that's him, but I know more
Okay.
his artwork.
This is the kind of this is the work,
Yeah,
presumably.
that sort of thing. There are some more. There should be some lovely other things that of his,
You
which
can
I you
walk
see
around
that there. You see that bird? Do you see that bird? This
here.
one, that oh, it's gone. The red one here. It says with mutual art. Up, up, up. Go down a bit. Down a bit. Down a bit. Down a bit. No, up, 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 up,
Other
up, up.
way, other way, other way.
Up,
This
up, up.
one.
That red bird, yeah, you see that. I love that, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
There's something very quirky. There's something really, um, I don't know. There's something, that bird has got a sense of a real character, of,
Mm.
you could, and a strong personality, even though some might say this is naive art, but actually it's just really, it's
It's
stunning.
deceptively simple, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. I love that. Excuse me. Now I'm going to whisk you back for London, to
Mm-hmm.
London. We're going out every night of the week to do something cultural together. On
Mm-hmm.
Monday, we're going back in time to a music performance of some description. On
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, we're going to the theatre for a play.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday is musical night, West End or Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday is opera or ballet.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday is movie night. And
Mm-hmm.
between us, we can decide what we see.
Brilliant.
So, is there a musical performance that you attended that you'd love to go back in time to witness again?
Um, well, there's a musical format that I never saw that I wish I had seen, Les
That's
Mis.
just as good, yeah.
So Les Mis, I would like to have seen Les Mis. That definitely,
Hmm.
and particularly the original production. So I'd probably choose that in terms of, yeah, music, a
That's
musical. Yes.
musical. What about a concert?
A concert, maybe. Perhaps to go to the proms, um, to something, you know, like Carmina Burana at the proms, something like that. I think.
I played that on Friday to my young assistant here, Isabel.
Ah,
She'd never heard it before. I said
it's wonderful.
I said it's like a medieval rave.
Yes,
So
it is. It's fantastic. I love
it
it. So
is
I
funny.
probably Carmina Burana, something like that.
Love
Yes.
that. What about a theatre play? Would it be Shakespeare at the Globe or not?
No, I probably wouldn't choose Shakespeare. Maybe I'd choose something like a Michael Frayn,
Hmm.
something like uh, Copenhagen, something like that, perhaps.
Mm. Yeah, I love it. And
Um,
if you had to choose between opera and ballet, which would you
oh,
go?
ballet, without a shadow of a doubt.
Right. And is there a particular ballet you would like to see?
Um, um, Well, I don't know if this counts, but I'd quite like to see, a Matthew Bourne's Swan Lake. I don't know if that counts, but
Yeah, all male.
yes. So
Yes,
I'd quite like to see that because I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I'd love to see that. That's great. And then Friday is film night.
Yes.
What are we watching?
I think we have to go for something in an IMAX, just because it's just in an IMAX,
Hmm.
and I'm fairly sure the Odyssey is a IMAX thing, isn't it? I'm not
It's
sure.
IMAX only, I think.
IMAX only doing justice. So I think probably that's what I'd choose. I
I
haven't seen
will.
it.
I haven't seen it yet. I'd love to be there. We should go to Las Vegas to the Sphere, to that great big. Have you seen
Yes.
the Sphere in Las Vegas?
No.
Oh, let me show you. Hold on. Uh, let me share my screen again. Look at this,
Oh wow, that looks epic.
doesn't it? And yeah, so that's, where's another picture? It's just so huge, there, look. That's
Oh,
that's
definitely.
that's not structure, it's screen. So
Wow.
quite staggering. Yeah. Yes,
I
we'll go
mean,
there. We'll do that.
okay.
Because the screen is almost above you. It's just 180 degrees. Yes, so that would be great for that. Wonderful. The Odyssey at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Now we're nearly there. This has been great fun. Thank you very much for doing this, Sita. But before I send you off to complete your year, I'm going to give you a hero lunch. You can invite one person for a leisurely 2-hour lunch in London. It can be a historical figure, it can be a fictitious character, famous or otherwise. Who would you love to have lunch with? Because they will come.
I'm having to think about that. Who would I like? Mm, 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 mm. Well, there's quite a lot of people that I'd like to have lunch with.
Mm.
Um, I think um, mm, I think Marina Abramovich
Yeah.
or the Buddha.
Oh, I'll let you have both.
Marvelous. I think they'd get on really well.
That would be a lovely lunch to be a fly on the wall, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
There we go. Sita, thank you so much for sharing your fantasy cultural year with everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it.
that's
Um,
brilliant.
I hope it comes off. And thank you as well for being one of our full members. It's very much appreciated because, as you know, we're entirely member funded. Wherever this appears, there'll be a profile about you with links to you and the website. But for the time being, thank you again. It's been a pleasure creating your fantasy cultural year.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mark.